What's up everyone, it's your friendly neighborhood French Canadian, and today I will show you how to make a Black Flame Sorcerer. First I'll show you how the build works, the spells we're going to be using and how to use them. Then I'm going to show you where you can get every item that you need, such as the talismans, the incantations, the seal, the weapon we're going to be using, the Ash of War, so you have everything you need to replicate this build. This is an end game build for level 130 and more, but obviously you can do it lower than that. This is just the level my character is at right now. So this is a faith only build, but it does a ton of damage. So most of the spells, or the incantations, sorry, that we use actually do AoE damage when charged up, like the Black Flame Ball, but you can also charge all of them up. But the unique thing about the Black Flame Ball is that it will cause an explosion on impact and can detonate on enemies that are close together. For the Scouring Black Flame, the awesome thing about it is that you can like walk backwards and forward while casting it. So let's say you're just in range of an attack, you can actually like back up and maybe avoid getting hit while you cast. And again, it can hit multiple enemies that are within range, and it travels forward quite a bit, kind of like Flames of the Redmane. But the trajectory is a bit more upward than forward, so be careful with that. Now, a Black Flame Ritual is an AoE that you put on the ground. It'll basically surround your character with a ring of black flames. So it's super good to use if you're surrounded by enemies, as well as using your Ash of War at the same time, because Black Flame Tornado stuns enemies, and then in the final hit, it'll actually throw them up in the air. So when you're faced with more than 3 or 4 enemies, you want to use those two together. If you're facing a boss, you want to use the Black Flame Ball, and you want to use a Scouring Flame. A Black Flame Ball is a bit better because it doesn't use a lot of FP, and most of the spells in this build doesn't use a ton of FP anyways, so you won't be going through it very quickly. But the clear winner of this build really is the Ash of War. It does so much damage, and most of the Black Flame incantations you're going to use are going to apply a Black Flame dot damage on the character, kind of like fire in a way, and you'll see it tick down. So I tested it on a giant in the mountaintops of the giants, and basically the initial hit would do like 1000 damage, and then with the dot damage it would go up to 1200. So the dot damage is very good for Black Flame incantations. Now the weapon we use will actually do fire damage every time we hit an enemy. So we'll have like fire damage coming from everywhere basically. So even though this is a faith build only, it's very versatile in the way you can play up close, or you can play like a usual sorcerer and just sit back and cast. Now if you're going to use a halberd, just keep in mind that the R1 is not super good, it's a bit slow, but the running R1 is good. The charge R2 is really good. If you two-handed, the charge R2 is actually the spin to win from Bloodborne, from the Hunter Axe. So it's really cool, and it can actually stance break enemies. That's pretty much what this build does. You can also add other like fate incantations to either give you buffs or to heal yourself and stuff like that. But for this specifically, I just wanted to keep it to Black Flame incantations only. For the seal we're going to use for this build, the Godslayer seal as well as the Godskin prayer book, you want to come to Stormvale Castle. Use the Rampart Tower Side of Grace, and I'll show you where to go from there. And also keep in mind that you will need 1 stone sword to open a fog wall. So you'll be able to loot the Godslayer seal and the Godslayer prayer book from both of the chests in this room. Once you have the prayer book, you can then bring it back to Brother Corin, and you'll be able to buy the Black Flame and the Black Flame Blade incantations. Now if a Brother Corin is no longer with us in your game, you need to bring back his bell to the Twin Maiden Husks, and then you'll be able to buy these spells. And I looked, and you cannot buy these spells from the Turtle Pope at the Church of the Vows, unfortunately. The two other spells we're going to be using is Scouring Black Flame and Black Flame Ritual you will get from bosses. For the Scouring Black Flame, you need to defeat the Godskin Apostle in Windmill Heights. You shouldn't have trouble with this for an endgame character, but if you're trying to get it early, then just do the battle on horseback. Now for Black Flame Ritual, you need to head to the mountaintops of the Giants. Start with the Freezing Lake side of Grace, it'll be easier. And what you want to do is just keep a right along the lake here, and you'll find the Spirit Caller Cave. Now you need another stone sword to open this, but you're going to encounter another Godskin duo in there, unfortunately. And once you defeat both of them, as well as the Spirit Caller Snail, you'll receive the Black Flame Ritual. You can also get Black Flame Protection. So for some reason I don't have it, so either I didn't get the dialogue in time, or maybe I sold it, who knows. You can talk to Gideon after you have both the Halictree Secret Medallions, so both the right and the left side. Now there's also another way of getting this. Once you have to, spoiler alert, fight him in the Ashen Capital, you can get back to Roundtable Hall, give the Twin Maidens his bell, and you'll be able to purchase it from them. Now for the Ash of War, we're going to be using Black Flame Tornado. To get this, you need again to kill the Godskin duo, but this time you need to defeat the ones in the Crumbling Ephraim. Now you want to put that on your weapon, and you want to use the Flame Art Affinity. Now, unlike actual fire, it doesn't scale with strength, but Flame Art will scale with faith. And this Ash of War only works on halberds, polearms, and twin blades. But it's still technically fire damage, it just doesn't scale with strength. I'm using the Banished Knight Halberd, and you can farm it from the Banished Knights in Stormvale Castle. So as long as they're holding it as halberd, you'll have a chance to get it. And I got mine like on the second drop, and I have no points in Arcane, so it shouldn't take too long unless I got really lucky, who knows. But again, you can also use twin blades that you like, the Godskin Peeler, but I personally don't like that weapon, but it would fit super well with this build. Here's the build stats. At level 130, you want something like this. 40 Vigor. Now, put more points in Vigor because I like having a higher rate of survivability, especially in boss encounters, but it's really up to you. I have 43 points in Mind, 25 in Endurance, 14 in Strength because that's what I need to be able to use the Halberd, and I have 57 in Faith. And there's two classes you want to use to not waste any points, and that would be Prophet and Confessor. And right now this is my Confessor character. Now our only primary attribute is Faith because everything that we use from the incantations to the Ash of War will scale with Faith. And so it really shows in the damage output because it's actually pretty insane. But even though we do a ton of damage, there are some talismans we're going to use that will make us do even more damage. So we're going to be using Faithful Canvas's Talisman, which raises potency of incantations. We're going to be using the Godfrey icon, which enhances charged spells and skills, as well as the Stargazer Heirloom, which raises your intelligence by 5. That one is optional, you can switch it out with something else you want. But the other one you especially want is the Fire Scorpion Charm. Now it raises the damage you do with fire. As I mentioned, Black Flame technically is fire, so you'll do more damage with incantations like the Black Flame Ball. You'll find the Faithful's Canvas Talisman in the Celia Crystal Tunnel in Caelid. So basically it'll be guarded by two pests. As you go into one of the rooms, it'll be to your right, so you can't miss it. For the Godfrey icon, you want to head to the Altus Plateau. Use either the Altus Highway Junction or if you're coming from the lift. So you need to go to the Golden Lineage Everjail. You need a stone sword to open it. You have to fight the Godric and he'll drop the talisman. And this is easily missable, but you need to go by the back here. There'll be like a way you can safely go down there. For the Stargazer Heirloom, you need to go to the Divine Tower of Liurnia. Now you need to have advanced Ronnie's questline up to when she gives you the inverted statue. Then you can go in the Carrion Study Hall, use the inverted statue, and you'll be able to get to the Divine Tower. Once you do this, all you need to do is make your way to the top of the tower and you'll be able to get the talisman. Now the Fire Scorpion Charm is found in Mount Gilmere, but I'll show you the exact way because it can be a bit confusing if you haven't gone there already. And we will start from the Erdtree Grazing Hill side of Grace, in the Altus Plateau. and that's where you can loot the Fire Scorpion charm from. Thank you for watching, everyone. I really hope you enjoyed this build. Let me know if there are things that I missed that would be better for this build, because let's be honest, this game is really big and I probably did miss some stuff. So have yourself a wonderful day, everyone, and I'll see you all very soon.